What's going on, great friends? Justin here, and another episode of the J Trey Podcast to you tonight. It is Saturday, January 8th, 2022. And listen, it's been a first week, amazing week. We got a lot to cover, a lot to get down. Let's go ahead and thank the people and the websites that we use to get us here uh, and how we can make our show possible. So, we want to give a quick shout out and thanks to StreamYard. StreamYard is the home studio of the Jay and Trey podcast. If you guys are looking to create your own podcast, YouTube videos, maybe even virtual business meetings, head on over to StreamYard.com and start making your dreams a reality. We also like to give a shout out and thanks to Placeit. Placeit.net. It's by Envato, okay, where it's a website where you can create your mock-ups, logos, and the videos. We use it all the time. Head on over to Placeit.net to start your free trial. Also like to give a shout out to Canva that makes our little commercial breaks in between everyone else. Canva is another web place as well. I would recommend going check them out if you guys are in the area of making videos and whatnot. Head on over to canva.com for more information. We also like to give a shout out to Epidemic Sound. Discover your world-class artists, composers, and bands. Find the perfect soundtrack and give your social media accounts the music they deserve. Okay? Head on over to Epidemic Sound for more information. Last but not least, Stream Elements. Okay, streamelements.com. With one click of a button, easily create and start selling your merchandise through Stream Elements. It's that simple, you guys. All right, you head on over there. You log in, it's free. Okay, sign up. You start slapping your logos or writing on product, t-shirts, jackets, hoodies. All right, as you see back there above me, our J and Trey podcast. And you hit submit, you hit publish. They create the domain, you send people to it. They shop and they purchase through there, and then they make the product to order. They'll send it out straight to the consumer, and then you get your profit at the end of the day. So StreamYard.com will have all of that for you as well. Well, hey, listen, you guys. Listen, we're halfway through the weekend. We got a couple more days to finish off the week strong for us. NFL, a couple games going on in the NFL wise. Chiefs beat the Broncos earlier tonight, and you also got the Cowboys and the Eagles going on as well. Wrestling's also wrapping up. Impact pay per view tonight. You guys watched SmackDown and Rampage last night. Also Battle of the Belts. So we got much more going on, and we're excited and ready to get started with you guys. So let's begin. The J and Trey podcast starts now. What's going on, great friends? Welcome in to the J and Trey podcast. We're live inside the StreamYard studio. We got 2 hours coming to you tonight from 10 to midnight. We are almost done with a fantastic week of the TNC Sports Talk. Let's bring right down to it. I added some more new things up here. I got a Sean Merriman jersey, not because I'm a Chargers fan, because I'm a Sean Merriman fan. And I'll explain that a little bit later on next week why I actually have that up there. It's probably going to find a nice place on my wall that's going to take a spotlight here. Probably going to take that down, that poster, because that's pretty outdated. I'm trying to make everything wrestling that way and everything football, baseball over there. We will see what happens there. I got some other things posted up there. So I'm trying to create new, build my surroundings behind me. So, hey, we welcome you guys in, and we got a big schedule for you guys this evening. A lot of stories coming in last minute. Hey, there's some more. We got some baseball news. We're going to talk a little bit about football tonight. 2 football games. What are the? I want to know from you guys. All right, what are some focus games in the NFL tomorrow? Okay, with the playoffs finalizing week 18, are you guys really just investing into your team? Are there playoff pitcher games like the Colts and Jaguars, right? Pittsburgh, Baltimore, or the Chargers and Raiders tomorrow night? How well are you guys invested? I want to hear you guys down below. We also got we also have some yeah, I think some big storylines coming up in the wrestling industry. I know we talked about this a little bit with Jake earlier on this week, but hey, listen, was Brock winning the WWE Championship good for business? Obviously, we were seeing the aftermath for that this past week on SmackDown and Raw, but we'll break that down and talk with that. Plus, we're going to scratch the surface a little bit. A lot of things coming down with the Royal Rumble. We just saw Impact Women's Champion Mickey James enter herself into the Royal Rumble. A lot of other opponents as well. So, has the WWE officially got themselves changing with the time frames as we see 2022 approach into the new year. So without further ado, let's bring in the official co-host for the J Trey podcast. This show would not be possible without him. He does all of our promotions on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. And say good evening to the champ. I guess we could say the champ, but he's the only one I think he actually owns an actual replica championship for now. But Trey, good evening. How are you doing, sir? Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday evening. I'm doing fantastic today. I actually got my Starbucks for the first time in 4 days. Can you believe that?
Oh my, that's a new record. Oh my
I've
goodness.
been
Hey, are
having
you
withdrawals.
excited for tomorrow? Are you excited for tomorrow? Tomorrow's cavalcade for a lot of people who don't know. At the Duke Energy Center in Cincinnati, it's a car convention. It's been here all weekend long. I know originally John Moxley was supposed to be scheduled to come in. Unfortunately, with his rehab situation, he got canceled, and they put in Brian Danielson. And now you have a group of people, farmer's dozen of people coming, joining you, tagging along, wanting to get to see Brian Danielson, possibly, maybe. I don't know. Brie Bella. I don't know what the situation is with her. Maybe she'll appear. I mean, hopefully, crossing fingers. But I mean, tomorrow's an exciting day. We're gonna be out all day long. So no Bengals game for you, but it's all right.
Yeah,
No
no
Joe
Bengal
Burrow,
game.
no Joe Mixon either. So
No, no, I've actually been a very big fan of Daniel Bryan back when he was in WWE. No, back
yeah,
when he was with The Miz and making him mad and everything else. No, I was
yeah.
a big fan. My favorite situation with him was when he was with Team Hell No. So that tells you how long I've been a fan
Yeah.
of him. So
Yeah, I mean,
I
let me
can't
ask you
wait.
this here really fast, if you don't mind. You have gotten to chance to go to Cavalcade the last couple years, the last several years actually. Who is your favorite? I think I've asked you this already, but your favorite signature Sting, I suppose, or
It's gonna be Sting. I know
yeah,
with all of them that I've met, AJ, Kevin
yeah,
Owens. Um, I'm gonna say Sting because he was the more talkative. Oh, I've met Seth Rollins too. Now
yeah.
Sting was more talkative, more energetic towards me, up to
Yeah.
conversations.
Well, the
Now
first thing that reminds me is that story you told us last week about what happened with you and Sting, and he took taking his time from greeting people to stop what he was doing to come talk to you personally to make sure you got that wonderful experience. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting tomorrow to see what happens in that field. All right, so listen. This next gentleman that we got to introduce here, he's been sitting patiently with his looks like he has a Steelers jersey on because they got a big game tomorrow night. The Steelers and the Ravens do battle. Well, you know what? Listen, yeah, and as much as I appreciate you doing all the promotions, you're on a few times a week. Jake kind of brings this show together with on 5 days a week. He's booking us and guests all over the place. He has another one coming up this Wednesday. If you guys want to tune in, 10 a.m. to noon. So without further ado, let's bring in the one, the only, the probably the person that should be called champ, in Jake. Jake, good evening to
I
you. How are you doing, sir?
am a little bit hyper right now because this week has been full of a a crazy big week for wrestling. With day one, Raw, the New Japan stuff, AEW, and then tonight. I've been a very busy guy when it comes to the wrestling business, but I'm happy to be here, and I'm very excited because Wednesday we have a great show, a very special guest. I cannot wait to get a chance to have her to join us, and I can honestly say I'm very happy just to be around my family, which is with both you and Trey. I'm just ready to enjoy this awesome show, and make sure you guys have some conversations in the chat because we definitely want to see your comments.
Yeah, listen, I just talked to Trey about Cavalcade tomorrow. We get to go see Brian Danielson, which is going to be fun and games. But coming up tomorrow, listen, we also know, and the people that don't know, you have yourself a nice, pretty collection of autograph signatures yourself. I mean, we just talked about the Monster Abyss a couple of months ago, back when we saw him being inducted to the NWF Hall of Fame, which, by the
Yeah,
way, I got to give a shout out to NWF Hall of Fame or NWF Wrestling, not Hall of Fame, Wrestling, because they are actually doing a event in Mount Orab. They happened tonight, and they had Noah Gabriel go after the tri-state title next against the Sinclair Octavius Bentley. So it's going to be fun, interesting to check the social media web pages and see who prevailed on that one. I know Trey and I are going to the one next week. We'll talk a little bit more about that on a later episode.
yeah.
But out of all the autographs you have, Jake, maybe what is your favorite memory of your probably the favorite autograph you have from a memory? Like, how did you go see the person, actually get them to sign it, or what is that story like out of all of them? I mean, you could probably spend 2 hours just talking about it.
I was gonna say, I have a lot of different autographs. I mean, I'm actually had the former IWGP champion Jay White in my hands, but and I'm getting ready to have two autographs. Not one from the Brian Anderson from you, and another one from AEW Crate that'll be coming in on Tuesday. So I'm excited about that. But if there's one autograph that I remember getting my very first time, it was a show up at Beckley, West Virginia, and it was my first time ever going to a wrestling show, and I got a chance to meet one of the most genuine, most caring guys in the wrestling business, the franchise, Shane Douglas from ECW, and whenever I first met him, he was the very first wrestler I met, and we had like a 5 maybe 10 minute conversation, and I was wearing my Kevin Owens shirt at the time, and he was like, "Are you enjoying your first wrestling show?" And I was like, "Yes." He goes, "Is it better than Vince McMahon stuff?" And then getting the autograph from him was genuinely so cool just to be able to get a chance to get one from a legend, a man that helped build ECW and the franchise, Shane Douglas. So that was definitely a memory I will never forget. And shout out to my buddy Nathan England for hooking me up with the tickets. We got a chance to go, and it was a show I'll never forget.
Yeah, so I'm definitely excited for tomorrow for Cavalcade. I can't wait not only to go, but we'll be back again from 10 to midnight. We'll break down a lot of wrestling news. We'll talk about our experiences tomorrow. I mean, not just to see Brian Danielson, but to also see the cars there. It's a car convention. And if you've never been to a car convention, I remember I went with my grandfather a few years ago. We got a chance to see a couple cars. We had the Chargers cheerleaders, so I don't know, who was going to be there. There's been past, in the past, people showing up. Obviously every convention is different in this case.
And
I will
I want
say,
to see. I'm
go ahead.
sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt,
No, you're
but
fine.
you never know who you will run into at the car show.
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna tell you, a couple years ago, I ran into Jack Hanger from AEW,
Formerly
and
known
Yeah.
he
as
was
Jack
just
White.
walking around.
Well, I mean, I guess the
So,
downfall is that normally Sundays are kind of just more of a laid back day. It usually gets busy on a Friday, Saturday type deal. So, but you're right. You never know. Don't take anything, for granted until it actually happens. I want to tell you guys something. I feel fantastic today, and that is because you know, I actually get the whole weekend off, which I've been working every Sunday for like the last month and a half, 2 months because of my work. So I finally got a weekend off, and I got some. I went to bed last night. I got some good, decent sleep. Got up, got some stuff done. Hanged out with my girls for a little bit. But I was very invested into this weekend's games, and especially today's game. I blew off football, and we'll talk about football here in a second, but I got a chance to see my San Diego State Aztecs beat a undefeated Colorado State in NCAA basketball. They didn't just beat them, okay? Let me put it this way. San Diego State hasn't played in 2 weeks. And because of COVID situations, all of Fresno State, all these other teams that's been opponents for them, they've been out with COVID. So they got a call up back on Thursday. Said, hey, we got to cancel another game. But here's what we'll do for you guys since you haven't played. And we're going to put you in a game against Colorado State, a team that probably hasn't played it since mid-December. All right. And so both Colorado and San Diego State, they said, hey, yep, let's sign us up. 2 days practice. And let me tell you, San Diego State's been dealing with injuries last couple of weeks. They were uncertain about certain people coming up. But they were hosting Colorado State. Now, if you don't know nothing about Mountain West, Colorado State, San Diego State normally are the two teams fighting in the final championship games at the end of the season. I tell you, man, San Diego State came in and they destroyed Colorado State 79-49. I can't be much of a happy camper when you get a chance to beat a undefeated team, and with obviously COVID issues and all that stuff going on, finally getting a chance to play basketball, and it was available on CBS. So as we on the West Coast, finally getting a chance to see, we're on the East Coast, getting a chance to see a West Coast team for me was phenomenal. So that was kind of my little story. But hey, Kansas City, I thought Kansas City was actually going to lose against the Broncos for a moment there.
Yes. Oh, man.
Somehow they decided to win. They came back to win. I don't know what the score is. What is the score update for the Cowboys and the Eagles?
30-17, and yet the Philadelphia currently has the ball. For some of you guys who don't know,
Cowboys winning?
Hurts. Yeah, the Cowboys win. Well, yeah, never mind. I thought the Eagles.
Well, you got to remember, think about this. There's no Dak Prescott, from my understanding. There are actually resting Cowboys. No. I'm sorry. There's no
Jalen Hurts.
There's no Eagles starters.
No,
I think
Jalen Hurts is out with the ankle injury. He's trying to get himself rested out before the playoffs.
I know the starting quarterback. You got who's that quarterback? Minshew?
Former Jacksonville quarterback Gardner Minshew is the starter. Gardner Minshew has been starting, and yet for those who don't know, this is not his first time starting with the Eagles. He played against the Jets. They won, and yet he is – I will say this, though. Gardner Minshew has definitely improved a lot since he left Jacksonville. So, yet he's looking pretty good out there. The only problem is that half the team is out due to COVID, and so they're playing with everything they have.
Well, the good news is that we're going to be able to have the final game of the final results by the end of our show. So we will keep you guys posted. We got to step away, but when we come back, I want to get your thoughts on key games for tomorrow, because obviously, the last game of the season. But then I know we don't want to talk about it, but we do. I think it's news, and it's football related news to the continuance of Antonio Brown's issue, and this comes with an OnlyFans excitement. So got some sound clips with you guys coming up next, so stay tuned right here on the J and Trey Podcast.
Here we go.
I won't make it easy for you now. You got 2 minutes of my time, I don't really break too easily, but I'm worth it, 'cause I'll slip into your dreams tonight. Oh, so give me your all. I'll take it to Mars. Oh, I'll stick like glue inside your mind. Just watch me breaking your sweat. You're falling into me, touch me. I swear you would do anything that I want, so keep us awake till the dawn. Try to call me tomorrow. Just watch me break it. Yeah, I swear. You're falling into me, touch me. I swear. You would do anything that I want. So keep us awake till the dawn. Baby, feel free. I wanna make you sweat on me. I wanna make you sweat on me. Feel free. I wanna make you sweat on me. Just take a hint. You got a free pass. Oh, try to hide it, but you had me from the get-go. Let me be frank, I'm not that complicated.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Let's get our heads on straight here. And you got this smirk smile on your face, Jake. Are you okay?
That was a little bit loud there. That was a little bit loud.
For me or for the actual?
For you. For you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a little bit loud.
I'm eating the microphone right now, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well,
Whenever
you know
you
what
first
it
get
is?
back
It's
on.
probably the transition from the break to here. I don't. It's not me. I'm like,
Yeah.
See, he's
Wait.
fine for me.
it's probably
Maybe
just
your
Yeah.
you.
headphones are turned up.
I don't know.
Anyways,
I'll have to see what's going
Figure
on
that out.
during the next
Hey, I
break.
forgot to mention really fast, if you guys are tuning in, watching us live, thank you guys for tuning in. Or you guys are watching us later. Hey, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Don't forget, hey, we want to hear from you guys, the fans. Comment down below. Get involved. We love to read the comments. We love to get you guys involved, as well as we talk about sports each and every day, 5 days a week, right here on the Sports Talk. Also, you can stream us a lot. Stream us also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. You can also find us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at TNC Sports Talk. So, hey, real quick for you guys, games for tomorrow. Are there any invested games? I mean, Jake, I know you have the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens as a big game,
Yeah.
but in order for one of them to even have a chance, you need two things to happen. One, you need the Colts to lose, which they face the Jaguars, and then you need the Chargers and the
Unfortunately.
Raiders to not tie. You need to actually have a final result. So, do those games take more priority over watching the Pittsburgh game? But keep in mind, Big Ben, it looks like this is his last game of his career. Do you want to miss that out? Do you just take the risk?
Well,
I
I mean,
mean,
plain and
exactly
simple.
what
I
game for
mean,
you is more important?
obviously, it's between us against the Baltimore Ravens because you also got to think about the playoff situation. Baltimore has to beat us and then have I think the Colts. I think, but in both either the Chargers or the Raiders to lose for them to be able to make it into the postseason. So yet,
Right.
what I did is I made sure that the Jacksonville and the Indianapolis game was notified on my phone, so that way I can be able to watch the Steelers game and keep track of what's going on between Indianapolis and Jacksonville. Now, I can't believe I'm saying this, but we have to rely on out of all teams. You could have given us the Patriots, you could have given us the Chiefs, but the
Shit, you
Jacksonville
guys could take the,
Jaguars.
the Jets. Take the Jets or the Lions for this
No,
matter.
okay. The Jets are not as worse as the Jacksonville Jaguars, but the Jacksonville Jaguars, for them to beat the Indianapolis Colts, I'm like, if you would have asked me before the season started, do you think Jacksonville Jaguars would beat Indianapolis Colts? I'd say heck no. But now I have to rely on Jacksonville, the same team who's had a downward spiral this entire season, to beat the Colts, and yet they always say there's always miracles. So yet I am actually hoping for a miracle when the
Big Christmas miracle
Jaguars
you need
big or
as
big New
well.
Year's miracle whenever they take on the Indianapolis Colts. So I'm keeping
Trey,
focused
same
on that.
question. I got to ask Trey the same exact question. Trey, you are a Bengals fan. You know the Bengals have clinched the playoffs. Obviously, with a Titans loss and a victory from the Bengals, you guys could easily go into second seed. With a Bengals loss and the Bills winning, you guys could jump down to fourth seed, or the Patriots. I mean, you don't have Joe Burrow, Joe Nixon, obviously for health reasons. Cleveland Browns don't have Baker Mayfield
Baker
because he's
Mayfield,
being
no.
shut down for surgery. So Trey, is there any other key games that you're paying attention to? I know you're preoccupied with Cavalcade, but is there any games that you're mostly wanting to pay attention to other than maybe Sunday Night Football, which is gonna be the Raiders and the Chargers?
Well, I'm gonna be looking forward to the Tennessee game.
Yeah.
I take priority over my Bengals, but
Yeah.
I wanna pay attention to them Tennessee game, and I want to see if Big Ben has one last game in him to get to the
Oh Lord.
playoffs. We'll
Oh
see.
Yeah.
Lord. Well, not only that,
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I just want Big Ben with all differences aside, even if the Steelers don't make it, I want to see Big Ben go out with the bang, walk off into the sunset
Yeah.
with the win, with a phenomenal game. Do what he does best, like it back in his prime days, and just play football one last time. Take appreciation, take a lap around the field, and do it in
And
Baltimore. I mean, that's the most salty way to do it.
I mean, this is the way. I want to say my thoughts on this is that no matter what the outcomes are for tomorrow, no matter what happens tomorrow, I can honestly say I'm very proud of Pittsburgh and what we have accomplished this year. I mean, with Najee Harris, he has been a tremendous help to our offense. Did incredible things, made some records against the Browns last week. So yet I'm happy with what we've done this season, and yet try to be able to give Ben what could possibly be his final season in the NFL a great run. And whatever happens tomorrow, I'm just hoping that we can be able to find some hope, some way to be able to make it to the postseason. Because who doesn't want to see Ben be able to make it to the playoffs for one final time? And if it happens, it happens. If
Absolutely.
not, then yet he'll ride off in the sunset with a win, at least in over one of our biggest rivals, besides the Bengals and Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I mean,
you
okay,
know,
so let's not forget the NFC picture here. You got the Saints and the Falcons, Rams in San Francisco, over in LA. Now, if the 49ers lose and the Saints win, they will switch. So basically, the 49ers need a win. Now, a lot of people are projecting that the 49ers will lose, which is not a bad case, to be honest, because I do think that they're still playing a tough Rams team. When you think about
Well,
scenarios, but
I mean, but here's the situation in that is that, and yet the scenario for San Francisco is even if they lose, they just need New Orleans to lose. So yeah, even if both teams lose, they yet the 49ers still have that final playoff spot. So yet,
yeah.
and the question is how is it going to be for New Orleans?
Do you
I
really
mean,
see the Saints losing to the Falcons? I mean, do you really see that happen?
they,
I
I
don't.
mean, who's their starter? I mean, they showed the quarterback situation this entire season since Jameis Winston got injured. So I mean, I don't really
Right.
know. I mean, whether it be Taysom Hill or whoever their other quarterback is, I just don't see the Saints make it to the postseason. I just don't. And also, I had some interesting NFL news I want to cover. Do you guys remember Bill
Okay.
O'Brien?
Mm-hmm.
Who?
Well,
Bill O'Brien.
he was interviewed. He was interviewed by the Jacksonville Jaguars for potentially
Yeah.
a
He will
head
be named the
coaching
new
job.
coach. It looks like that's the direction, which is not bad. I mean, which was better? I mean, Jim Harbaugh maybe coaching the Bears or Brian
I
coaching.
still can't believe Nagy got fired, though. I can't believe Coach Nagy
Yeah,
got fired.
that's crazy. Well,
I
hey, listen,
also.
I don't mean to interrupt you guys, but I got Armchair Booking here, and I
Armchair
just want to give him a shout
booking.
out. Hey, I just want to give him a shout out because guess what came in the mail today? I've been talking about it. I got to show off. I got this shirt, and I'm
Stand
wearing
up.
it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
look at
Yes,
this. It
that looks
feels great. It
beautiful.
looks wonderful. I mean, besides my fatness here, but
Hey, shut up! You're
but
not fat. You're beautiful.
hey, I'm just husky, man. I mean, just
It's okay.
I
It's okay to
pack
be
in the
comfy.
wintertime and the summertime. No, but listen, Armchair Booking, great guy, group of guys. I've been talking to them. We're working on trying to get each other on each other's shows next weekend, Martin Luther King weekend there. So hopefully we can make some magic happen. I know you two are down for that, absolutely. Hopefully
Oh yeah.
everyone to tune in our
And,
schedule then.
and,
But I
And
want to give them a shout out. Definitely.
and
You
yeah,
guys can check
and
out
yeah,
Armchair Booking. They got a YouTube channel, Armchair Booking, a Steve Barber and Dwaylon Davis talking about key highlights, interesting topics in the wrestling world. They are a family and friendly show. Okay, so they keep everything professional. You guys, you could also check them out on any streaming services listed. You could possibly find. Stitcher,
And
Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify.
also, where do you find Armchair Booking merch?
It's T. I don't. If you want to send me
I'm
the
pretty sure they'll
information
put it in
down
the
below,
comments.
put it in
Yeah,
the
put it in the
comments, and I'll share
comments.
it to you guys on the show for the audio
And
listeners.
And I do gotta say this though. I know me and Trey have been doing all of the promotion, but yet I definitely want to be able to promote for Armchair Booking whenever we can, whether if it's on TikTok or on our Instagram, which
Absolutely.
you guys can follow us at TNC Sports Talk.
They got some great conversations, guys. I recommend you guys going. It's T Public. If you head on over to T Public, plus Armchair Booking has the links down on all their profiles. So if you head on over to their social media pages, they're on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all that fun stuff. They're all, you head on over to their social media, head on over to their channel. They have everything down in the description. So
I mean,
just want to shout that out.
imagine. I would say, just imagine if like one of us or both of us can be able to go onto their show and be able to get a chance to talk to them.
That's what we are working on, possibly.
That'd be awesome.
Especially next weekend.
That'd be really awesome. And then have someone from them to get a chance to join us, because Armchair Booking has just been truly incredible to us.
We're looking,
I
if we can, to have both Dwayne and Steve on our show sometime next weekend. So we will
definitely have some
elaborate
great
more, get that going. Hey, all right. So listen, the only reason why this is something that's newsworthy is because it's a little bit about sports. It's a little bit about Antonio Brown, a little bit about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If not, I mean, I wouldn't really even bother with this story. But I actually got some audio clips. So listen, we have an integrity here to keep things professional. And we don't even keep things. Even our interview process is probably like I said, try to keep about no more than 20 minutes. We give the respect as we need, but we want to keep the show going. But basically the story is now Ava Louise. You guys know who she is? She is actually a OnlyFan. She's an OnlyFan model. And she's that one. If you look her up, you guys will recognize her. A couple years ago, she came on public back with this whole COVID-19. She was the one licking the toilet on social media. Remember that one? Remember that picture? Yeah, this is who she is. Ava Louise. She actually came out with the on Mail Daily, which is an authentic news source, that they that she ended up having encounters, sexual encounters with Antonio Brown on New Year's Day, and now she's tested positive for COVID. Tweeting out things like, "Oh, you better watch out. You should be more concerned about testing your guys than anything else." This is the only reason why this story makes public. But they were on a Odyssey radio station in New York, and you think about New York is that top level. They have the highest expectations of the standards of having a talk show, right? Radio show, whatever. And these guys were on. They found her, they hunted her down, they got her on the show, and I got some sound clips. Listen, if we did any of this crap, we said any of this, we would be done. So I just want to, in my opinion, so I want to get your raw reaction to this. And like I said, there's a couple of clips. There's and I really want to just play for you guys, just so that you guys understand exactly where this is coming from and why it's related to the story. Okay. So bear with us. All right. You guys ready for this? Jake?
Yep.
Jake. Okay. So I'm going to also pre-warn people. Hey, if you guys are PG related, it's not rated R, but it's more than PG. I'll put it that way. Okay. So please proceed to this next segment with precaution. Okay. So here's the first segment by Ava Louise. No, 1 second, it's loading.
Okay, so you also just put out, Evan was just telling me.
Honestly, I probably got it on New Year's.
Okay. What were you doing on New Year's?
I mean, I was just out in New York.
Just doing your thing?
Yeah.
Got it. All right. Sex with anybody on New Year's? Were they got to worry about it, or what were we doing on New Year's?
What a forward question.
I mean, New Year's Day, I think we all know who I slept with.
Yes, we're going to get to that in a second.
All right, that's the first clip. All right, this is Ava Louise on the Carton and Robert show. And let me just me just confirm things here really fast. I want to make sure we're right. There we go. All right. So first reaction. What do you guys think? This is live on. This was actually live and aired on the radio.
Trey.
It's crazy. I'm waiting on
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I think both of these guys really need some help, just in general. Do you guys not agree? Antonio Brown needs help.
He does. He definitely needs help.
Ever since this whole thing with Antonio Brown last week, and I think I can honestly say, even before the incident, I always thought that Antonio Brown was like probably the biggest clown, we could ever have around in sports. And
Right.
And the thing is, that was that Antonio Brown, I've seen some interviews, and he talks a lot of ridiculous stuff out of his head. I think he said Tom Brady needed him, and that said a lot about the team, said a lot about Brady. I just think Antonio Brown just needs to stay away from social media in general.
This is a 33-minute interview, no commercial breaks, nothing. The fact that this person had that much time. Here's another segment I want you guys to listen to here. I got a total of 4. So here's the second one.
I've not heard the voice messages, but just to be clear, one of the things he said to you, I want to get this right, is I want to put you in the frog position. You heard?
And then he said, I want to put you in that butterfly stance. Come get a bonus, implying he was going to give me money. And I was like, I'm not going to let someone pay me for sex.
So like at that point, are you offended? Are you like, I'm not a whore. I like having sex. I'd probably have sex with you, but I'm not doing it for the money. But I
just was like, what? Like, I wouldn't go to have sex for money. Like, I have an OnlyFans, yes.
Like you do sexual things for money. You just don't sleep with guys for money, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, no, that's just like, you know what? That's too dirty.
Well,
for me.
by the way,
that's the second sound clip. Okay, this is 33 minutes of nonchalant stuff going on, talking about breaking down this story about how she slept with, or not slept, but had in an encounter with Antonio Brown, and she is definitely something else. Here's bite number 3 here really fast while you guys are listening, and then I got one more bite that will actually put all of it together. Okay, in the purpose of why we're talking about it. All right, ready?
I hope so.
So $1 million a year, just letting people see your thing. That's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I just like, I have nice boobs, so it's like works out well.
You have in your possession the video of you and Antonio, right?
Yeah.
Because he filmed it, but he filmed it on your phone.
Yes, and he told me explicitly to sell it.
He told you to sell it.
So you feel like he's already given you approval. Like you don't even have to worry about what he thinks.
He already told me. Yeah. He said, film this. Oh, wait, I have a DM from him. Wait, this is going to be great.
Go ahead, hold on. Here we go. Breaking news. Antonio Brown has just DM'd Ava
on
Louise.
December 30th, 2020, Antonio Brown said, link up, let's record, catch vibes. So he's been wanting to record for over a year.
So he's wanted to film you guys getting it on together for over a year.
The consent is there from Antonio Brown to, record it and release it and do what you got to do.
All right, that's the bite number 3. I got one more bite for you guys. And this will, and you guys look so enthusiastic about this. And this is really what is the main story of why this interview is on. We're doing a segment on it. Okay. So here we go. Last and final bout. This is when she talks about him admitting to the not being vaccinated. Okay.
He was talking about I was like, yeah, I saw your fake vax card scandal, and he was just like, yeah, like the NFL rules for COVID are stupid. Like all the players aren't vaccinated. Like you have no idea.
Whoa.
None of us care about COVID.
Oh. So did he admitted that he had the fake vax card, or?
Yes.
He did.
And he's saying a lot of the league has it too, right?
Yes.
So here's what's interesting is that.
All right. So That's that. That is the audio clip from Thursday's interview with Ava Louise and the Carton and Robert show in New York City. Now, if we did that type of interview, first of all, it wouldn't be 33 minutes long. We could probably have all that wrapped up in 4 minutes.
Right.
But this, I mean, I'm just the reason why I aired it is I'm just because part of it's for the show is because what New York does and at the standards they have is like, dude, we do that something like that. We have that type of interview where it's just that much chalant stuff, and it's like, oh, well, we may not be able to do this tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's kind of hard to tell you what is like. Okay, so she came out and said that this was put in by the Mail Daily, which is an authentic, hey, only true stories come out there. And that's at least what, they claim. So the fact that it came through that, it's pretty disturbing. I'm like, I'm over it. But I mean, you think Antonio Brown's going to get another job with the NFL? He's already claimed that he's getting calls.
No.
NFL, he's claimed that NFL teams are calling him to play already.
Like
who? the Detroit Lions?
He's also been offered a job for the United States football team.
Okay, I don't think the United States, whoever you just said, will want bums.
Well, it's not the NFL. It's more of a.
He's a bum. Yeah. He's a bum, and let me tell you this.
So is this Ava chick too.
I hope.
Okay, go ahead, Trey. Go ahead.
I hope The Rock is smart enough not to let him in the XFL.
No, not XFL. I tell you that.
Let me just tell you this. Antonio Brown is the type of guy that talks his head off. The man who tries to get involved with boxing against freaking Logan Paul, and then he goes back to the NFL. If this starts reading correctly, he just now went to the Buccaneers in 2020, and yet here he is now in 2022, leaving, getting released by the Buccaneers. And then I'm going to tell you this.
Here's what's crazy about this. This all happened on New Year's Day. She was even reached out by Antonio Brown's lawyers and was offered $10,000 not to go public with this story. She decides to do it anyway. She thinks that she's worth $100,000 to consider not to go public with this. And then, she simply, here's the other thing. The way that, and I actually listened to the entire interview, she walked right past the security guard and he was like, yeah, what's up? I mean, like nothing ever happened. Like, it's like there's no standards to this. You're not supposed to be bringing people back to your hotel rooms. I just, and even on the way out, Tom Brady caught them. Out of all of this. And the worst case scenario is that she was tested positive for COVID back on Thursday. She doesn't know how far this went in and how far this went back. So, it's kind of concerning for Tampa Bay. I mean, I don't know about the protocols, but she made, I guess, $20,000 in one day after this interview. And she's that one lady she was on the Dr. Phil show. She wants publicity. And I mean, there you go.
I can honestly say is that, ever since Brown got released, he's been talking his head off, and then that's exactly what's going to happen. And now that this interview is being out, I don't think the NFL is giving him any more chances, let alone the chance that he had. I mean, after that publicity stunt he pulled in New York, and then now this interview, Brown's done. I mean, if I was in
I sure hope so.
I mean, if I would even consider signing the Brown, I would actually hit myself in the head for thinking something stupid. Like straight up.
I definitely.
Like I would rather step on rocks or step on Legos than to have Antonio Brown on my team. Like,
and
no.
I have one thing to say. So that lady said that Brown said that most of the team or people in the NFL have fake vaccine cards. Then the NFL needs to track that crap down.
Right.
I mean, they're tracking their Rodgers situation down. I mean, what more are they also going to track down? I mean, it's almost to the playoff season. The season's over tomorrow.
But here's the funny thing is, it's still going to happen next week. Even this weekend. I mean, some lady probably went back with the player in the hotel room and did something. I mean, I really don't care what Antonio Brown does on his own time. I don't care what any player does on their own time. You want to do it, go do. You want a 3-way? Hey, congratulations, go get a 3-way. I think, I mean, people, I don't know, 3-4 ways. I don't know how 5 ways. I don't know. We're talking about Skyline here, but I mean, it's just like, what do you want to do on your own time? That's fine. But I mean, now you're impacting a lot of other people. And it's just like, I mean, I am truly, I sure these both of these, okay, because Ava Louise, her history too, it's just like, you guys both need help. And hopefully they could go get the help they need, because I don't know what type of games or stories they're playing, but it's obviously now taking away from the focus point of, okay, we got playoff game implications tomorrow, and local radio stations, and the fact that this went viral too. I mean, but it's just, I think it comes down to the point, like you said, we could have that interview done in 4 minutes if we ever had her on. Not saying we would, but I'm just, that just, oh gosh, 33 minutes of that.
And did she say when she was tested positive?
So she tested herself on Thursday morning. Right before she went on the Carton and Robert show, but she doesn't really know how far back. She went out New Year's Eve and partied and all that stuff, and then went to his house or the hotel room out on Saturday. So she could have had this back then, but we really don't know. I mean, that's the kind of the story that we don't have any information on, but still, it's like, okay, well.
And how goofy can Antonio Brown be, putting himself at risk, but putting all the other people in that stadium in jeopardy?
Hold on. I got one thing I want to say. You really just question Antonio Brown, bro? He would do anything just to have.
Well, he told her, hey, watch what I do tomorrow. And obviously, right. she tried to get her to the game.
So he knew he was going to do that.
Yeah,
he knew.
What did she? What did he DM her? Let's
meet up.
Let's make a video and get vibes. I mean, Trey,
he should be done. He should be done.
Jake, I want you to go. I think it was like, let's make videos and get vibes or something like that. I'm like, all right, Jake.
Something like that.
Go find a chick and say that to them. Just text them that.
No.
Please.
You know how fast we would get stabbed?
Please. That's well, I thought the interesting part is that, she comes out with COVID. Now there's the concern about, you talk Tampa Bay Buccaneers moving forward for the rest of the season. Okay, what are these players actually doing? Do the NFL need to really be cracking down on it? And on top of that, I mean, as a, we're more, talk show, podcast, or whatever the case may be. Like I said, we did anything like that. I mean, just the difference between what we do here to what New York does, and especially with their standards. I thought the comparison and contrast is also interesting to think about. But all right, listen, we got to take a break. That's enough. I don't want to talk about it again. I hope I don't have to talk about it next week. I thought the bike clips were good enough. I don't know what you guys thought, but I know you probably thought it was stupid. But when we come back, I want to get your thoughts on the Peyton Manning cast, because MLB is looking to do the same thing. Stay tuned. You guys are listening to the J Trey Podcast right here inside the StreamYard studio.
Better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this is 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage and they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going.
Alrighty, you guys, I'm back and I'm ready. I feel better. We got that over with. We're done. Put that away. You see that? All my notes on that, it gets crumpled up. What's going on? Apparently the game's more important, Jake. Huh?
Sorry. I just the Cowboys scored again.
You should like angle the phone. You know what would be better? You should angle the phone like.
I'm not getting this
TV
copyrighted.
So you could watch.
I'm not getting this copyrighted. No, not getting copyrighted.
No, not so we can watch. I'm saying put it against the TV towards you, and that way you can watch both at once. At least you look like you're interested in this show.
Sorry.
I mean, that's what I do.
I mean, the Cowboys.
Well, yeah. See, exactly. That's what Trey's like. Hardly pays attention to what we do on the show. He jumps in like every 5 minutes, and then.
It's fine doing that.
Hang on.
I appreciate you guys. There you go. See, there you go. And then we also highlight the background.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Better?
So we got some.
No, that's worse.
Gosh, we see
That's
more
worse.
of you. I guess.
I can see your trash bag shirt.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so we're gonna wrap up this hour. We got Jake taking on Trey at the beginning of hour number 2, but I want to talk about this. Get baseball out of the way. Also, I know that there's not a lot of stories going down, but we have ourselves. What was your thoughts? Who's watched the Peyton Manning cast this year?
I mean, I've watched little peeks of it, from time to time.
No, I never really. What was your thoughts? Did you like the Peyton Manning cast? I mean, I guess the dynamic was to be able to have a different angle, have a quarterback angle of the game, and he had different guests on. He had Eli, he had Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees. He's had a couple other stars on the show.
He's had Roger Goodell. He's had Bill Coward. I think he's even had what's his name from Fox, who does the
Al Michaels.
No, not Al Michaels. No,
he's also had Al Michaels before.
Joe Buck. He's had him. He's had a couple of celebrities.
Yeah. The only reason why I'm asking you, because apparently it was a good hit. Now, I don't know. I mean, I have never seen this. I never watched a whole lot of it, but it apparently gets a hit off of it. And now A-Rod is coming out, and they're doing a Manny cast, and kind of like MLB Network changed. Now, he's doing kind of like his own little cast with Michael Kay. And so that the Sunday Night Baseball is going to kind of be changed up. You got David Cohn, Yankees. So David Cohn does the play-by-play for color commentating for the Yankees. Biggest on that. He also does a lot of. He has his own talk show, so he does that as well every week. Now he's going to be now he's going to be on the new ESPN cast as well. Eduardo Perez as well, on that one. Buster Only looks like he's going to probably be joining that cast as well. So good group of guys. Matty V, though, I don't know are you guys also familiar? I mean, I know baseball runs shorts around here, but do you guys familiar who Matt Vasgersian is?
Yeah, I've heard of Matt Vasgersian. Yeah,
Of
I've
course,
heard of
you
him.
not Trey. I'm sure I should just take you out for this conversation, but
You might as well. I mean, I don't know. Only baseball player I know is Joey Votto. I don't know
that's it.
anybody
Out
else.
of all the like, do you know who Pete Rose is and Johnny
Yes,
Bench
I
and
know. I
you know who
know
Johnny
them.
Bench is?
Wait,
King
Yes,
Griffey Jr. I mean,
yes.
wait,
I'm
wait,
talking
wait,
about today's stuff.
wait. You know who David Ortiz is? You know who Manny Ramirez
A Rod
is?
is. Do you know who A
No,
Rod is?
no,
What
never
the
even
hell?
heard of them.
You've been living underneath the rock.
You've been like Patrick. You
Like you
definitely been on.
literally, I feel like I feel like you're like me back in the day when I only knew nothing but San Diego, and that's it. Barely knew San Diego. But that was because I grew up on the West Coast and I was just prone. I didn't really care for anything else. But so okay, A Rod, Alex Rodriguez. I mean, listen, I don't know. Maybe I don't know if he's the right guy. He's trying to come across as this nice guy, maybe for all the stuff that he's done off the field, during his career. But now he's trying to come across and having his own little his own little cast, with his own little team and all that stuff, and that's gonna be interesting to tune into. But
That gets me kind of nervous considering the fact that it's happened to both football and now baseball. I mean,
yeah.
I feel like other sports might be able to be a copycat, just do something like this.
I mean, apparently it got a big hit for ESPN. It was what Payne and Mannycast was on ESPN2, I believe. So A Rod will be on ESPN2. He's going to be taking a look at breaking down different things. The thing is that Payne and Manny, he had his own success, and he was actually a successful guy. Everyone liked him. Put a guy like David Ortiz in there, where he's funny. But I don't know if you can't. Maybe you can't really understand David Ortiz sometimes. But A Rod, out of all the guys, you got to choose A Rod to host this.
If there was one baseball player I would actually understand and actually be able to do something like this. No disrespect to Alex Rodriguez. No disrespect at all.
Mariano Rivera.
How about Derek Jeter? That'd be fun to watch to see Derek Jeter do something like that. I mean, one of the best Yankee players there is. I mean,
I don't know what the status is of Albert Pujols, but I would love to see Albert Pujols maybe be a part of that.
And he's still playing for the Dodgers, though.
I don't know if he's re-signed yet. I mean, listen, this whole lockdown has kind of gotten, like I've had to force myself not to pay attention to baseball, in the talks and whatnot, just because you really, until the lockdown is lifted, you really just don't know what's going to happen out of MLB. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe he gets picked up, especially if you think about this. If the National League is supposed to have that designated hitter this year, which is looking like that's something that they're going to probably do. I mean, Pujols could be a DH. Go back to the Cardinals and play his final year in St. Louis.
Yeah, I mean, considering that he was
Trey, you know who Albert Pujols is, right?
No.
Oh.
Like I said, I know nobody besides Joey Votto.
Hey, you better be prepared come February March because not only we're gonna be able to cover possibly potentially basketball, but also NASCAR as well. So I mean, get ready.
Here's the problem. This is what we're gonna do when we come down to those segments. This is what we're gonna do. No disrespect, Trey. It's nice knowing you.
We love you, bro.
No. Listen. I get it. Trey. Listen. When the time comes, you're gonna get a little bit more familiar with the sport, at least as the current process is. I'm not looking to ask you guys.
If there's one thing I dread, if there's one thing I can honestly say I'm going to dread come NASCAR season is to may the force be with you. What in the world? As I was saying before, pull up that comment.
Hey, listen, you're getting a quote from Yoda here. Thank you, Yoda, for joining us, Grandmaster Yoda.
If there's one thing I really dread is coming home on Sunday, get ready to watch a NASCAR race. Trey Cordy would call me and be like, "Hey, do you want to play Xbox?" I'd be like, "No, I'm NASCAR." And then they'll start giving me crap for me watching NASCAR.
You're gonna come home on Sunday now. You're gonna come home on Sunday, and instead of watching NASCAR, you're gonna have to do the show. So good luck.
So I got a question.
Yes,
you can put that on.
Jake's gonna give me some heat on this, but what are we supposed to be talking about NASCAR for? What are they making another left turn?
Oh, Trey, I knew you were going to say that. I knew he was going to say that because with what I've been doing in Thunder Valley Racing, which, by the way, our season's getting ready to come up. See, NASCAR, to me, I grew up watching NASCAR, and it's more than just left turns. You also got to think about the strategies. And plus, here soon, the Super Bowl of NASCAR, the Daytona 500, is almost upon us.
Wow, there's a strategy for taking a left turn.
Yes, there is.
I've been driving.
You got to remember, Trey. The track is tilted to its side half the time. You are basically like one of those motorcycles in a cage riding upside down.
And Trey, may I remind you that Daytona is one of the famous super speedways in all of NASCAR.
It's also like 1,000 degrees on the track. You got to stay hydrated. These NASCAR drivers are wearing diapers. Hey, are those racers that are racing on your show on the YouTube channel? Are they wearing diapers as well?
Justin, no.
No. I mean, no. I don't know disrespect. I'm just asking. Like, I'm generally asking. Like, well, because you got to sit there. It's not like you could play the game for 30 minutes, hit pause, and say, "Oh, I'm going to go to the bathroom and come back." No,
we can't.
You got to.
No, I'm going to say, we can't pause the game. No, we're live as we speak. Right. But yet the thing is that that's their business. I'm not going to ask them what they wear. Or
I'm not sitting here to say, "Hey, next time someone comes on our show, ask them." I'm not going to do that. I'm just.
But I will say this though. As
it is.
I mean, these NASCAR drivers, they do get dehydrated to wear enough to wait. They have to stop the car in order and have some help for them to be able to get out because they don't have enough energy.
You're talking about the actual in a NASCAR.
The actual NASCARs, yeah, the actual racing, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's. I've seen some of them. Like some of them actually have water tanks in the back that they could actually that's hooked up to their mask.
No,
not the technology. There's a few
tanks.
of them. Well, not water tanks, like camel backpacks, whatever you want to call them.
So what they have is they actually have a little holder for their drink bottle, and then during the cautions or the red flags, they'd be able to get a chance to have a drink out of their drink bottle. So and then
I saw something like 2 years ago where there was supposed to be that they're working in progress of having like a little like behind their seat there they had something there filled up with water, and it was basically, you know how you connect everything to the helmet, you connect the oxygen tank to the helmet in the back. Well, there's supposed to be something else you can connect to that leaks you up to a water sprout, like if they while they're driving they could also do that. I don't know.
So you talk about what's connected to the helmet is that it's actually their cooling unit they need because these drivers can't drive in hot weather, so that's why the cooling unit formed to blow cool air into the helmet.
But there was supposed to be something else that in progress of creating to kind of help get a tube in there for hooking up to like a liquefied something that they needed it for hydration.
I really don't know about that, but yet, I mean, they're having the brand new next gen car for this season. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. Come the exhibition race at the LA Coliseum. I can't believe I'm even saying this. A NASCAR race at a football stadium like the LA Coliseum. It's going to be interesting. It is going to be very interesting. I mean, I think they haven't raced in California for quite some time because they usually race at Auto Club, and they're pretty much re-editing the track to a short track. So this will be the first time NASCAR goes to LA in quite some time. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this goes.
Well, it's nice for them to finally go out to the West Coast, but it's also interesting to see what this year progresses. But hey, your Thunder Valley Racing is going to be probably as big as actual NASCAR racing.
Yeah,
so,
and
plus you got to broadcast that, so that's going to be fun to watch you broadcast racing.
Yeah,
video game racing.
Yeah, and also I've been doing a lot of stuff outside of Thunder Valley Racing. Hennessy Performance League, they've done some F1 stuff. I broadcast that last night. I'll be racing for them next Wednesday, our season opener at Daytona. So I'm definitely doing a lot of stuff outside of Thunder Valley and outside of the podcast, and I'm definitely preparing for more stuff we have in store for you guys. I mean, we got Sandra Arndt joining us on Wednesday, so I'm just trying to be able to handle one thing at a time when it comes to Thunder Valley, the podcast, and of course Hennessy Performance League.
Alrighty.
And
Well, that's enough
and
said. Trey, go ahead.
and every year I go on a family vacation to Ormond Beach, and every year I get the chance to drive or ride by the Daytona 500. My grandma
Daytona International
actually owns
Speedway.
my grandma actually owns a timeshare. I'm gonna say about 10-15 minutes from the racetrack. So
It'd be really
anytime I
cool if they
go
let
back,
you out.
I get sad
I
because
mean,
knowing that my favorite NASCAR driver passed away that right there.
you
Kevin
think
Hart.
about it. You think about it. Wouldn't you like? Okay, so Daytona 500. I also like what about the Indy 500? Like those are just kind of like dream races that you kind of want to go to, like actually physically go to in life. Just to say
So
that you've been to one.
So the one race I actually got a chance to meet, and I'll tell a little story about this, was at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, which back then was called the Lowe's Motor Speedway. It was for the All Star race, and I got a chance to meet Ric Flair, Roddy Piper, the owner of the track. I even got a chance to meet two of the drivers, and so that race was always fun because I mean it's Charlotte Motor Speedway. I mean, Charlotte has been one of the oldest in the NASCAR circuit. So to get a chance to go to my first All-Star race was a lot of fun. And I get a chance to see Dale Earnhardt Jr. race. It was a pretty cool thing. And, I definitely want to be able to continue going to more NASCAR racing, especially with this season.
Well, you know what's going to be interesting. Also, we're going to be talking about some NASCAR races. Not like listen, Trey. I'm not a big fan of NASCAR race. Well, I'm not saying I'm not a fan. I'm just saying I don't follow it as closely as let's say Jake does. But you know what else we're going to cover? We live in Kentucky. I know I'm saying that out
Hmm.
verbally, but what's down in Kentucky? Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
You have the Belmont races down in California. I've always wanted to go to one of those. I love going down to Del Mar and doing the Binge Crosby races. So we're gonna have probably. I mean, it's part of the sports talk
Hmm.
category, right? I mean,
It's
Yeah.
not
that's
that
just
I don't really care for NASCAR. It's just I don't understand it.
you're right. I
Like
mean, listen, I don't understand
Jake
as much the
always,
next guy, but I mean, like I don't
Jake
understand
always says,
soccer.
no, Jake always says, the strategies and
Yeah.
the caution flag, the
Yeah.
red flag. I don't know. I don't understand it.
You know, I will say this. I don't think you guys noticed, but yeah, Kentucky does have a racetrack. But
Yep.
they started doing it for the Mid Series, which was the Xfinity Truck Series, and then they started doing the Cup Series. But then they dropped it off the schedule last year, and yeah, it's not going to be on the schedule this year. So NASCAR, if you've
Right.
seen this, please bring Kentucky back on the schedule because I would love to get a chance to head down to Kentucky and watch a race from there.
Yeah.
I think
Uh,
that's an hour away from us. It's
Yeah,
Kentucky Speedway.
yeah,
yeah.
Kentucky Motor Speedway. Yeah.
Yeah, it's down south from us.
Well, I mean, listen, I guess, Trey, we are going to all have to work together and share as much
Hmm.
information as possible. The only thing I guess we're going to ask us, each and of us, to do is to keep up with the current sports. And then we
Yeah.
Yeah.
can fill each other about the details, that's going on with everything that's going on. Because it's like, for example, like I don't know nothing about Muay Thai fighting or bare knuckle fighting, or I
Yeah.
don't watch No Japan Wrestling. So, I mean, I just, I don't want to blow it out the window. I want to talk about it, but you're going to
Hmm.
have to fill me in a lot because I'm a dumb
Yeah.
person when it comes down to
See,
that
the
type
thing
of
is,
categories.
it doesn't kill someone to get a chance to learn something new. And yet, whenever you gave me that spotlight to talk about Wrestle Kingdom, I thought that was a really
Mhm.
cool thing just to be able to bring not only you or Trey, but
Yeah.
also the fans a really different perspective on New Japan Pro Wrestling as well. And with bare knuckle fighting and Muay Thai fighting, I mean, the guests I have, I mean, I pretty much follow all the world of fighting. So yeah,
Which
that's why I
I'll
always.
leave. I want to leave the last interesting category. We did not mention this, but Okada actually had the written rule of or the written history of New Japan Pro Wrestling on his wardrobe, on his robe
Yeah,
that he wore down to the ring on Wednesday morning. I thought that was pretty
Hmm.
neat, pretty
yeah.
awesome. I think it's all written in a different language. Chinese, right, or something like that.
Yeah, it is Japanese. It's Japanese and
Japanese. I'm sorry.
And I do
thought that was pretty cool.
Now, I think what's really cool though is what Okada said is that while Bryan Danielson and CM Punk are still wrestling, he wants to face them. And on Twitter, Punk actually sent out the address to one of the arenas in Chicago, Illinois. He said, "You know where to find me."
Oh,
Well, I mean, I think that's the story back in the day. You kind of just showed up. So, I mean, we will get more into that because that is starting to break big also in the news. We're just going to scratch the water. But I think it's time to play Jake Takes on Trey in a little category today. Currently, right now, Jake is leading 2-0. We play every time Jake and Trey is on the show. And it's a game where I ask a question and they go back and forth giving me where there's multiple answers and they go back and forth giving me the answers of the tops. So are you guys ready to play? Take on Jake Takes on Trey? Or
Let's go.
Versa, however you
Let's
want to look at it.
go.
All right, we're gonna get some fun music going in just for the hell of it, for the game purposes. Okay. So all right, so this category is in regards to the Royal Rumble that's coming up on January 29th, 2022. A lot of big names are already applying themselves and entitling themselves into the Rumble. Well, there's some wrestling history news in the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble was created back in 1988 with the first winner, Jim Duggan, and since then there has been a total of 30 winners. We have seen men and women Royal Rumble matches. We even have seen women in men Royal Rumble matches. There's 30 winners this year, and as we don't know who's going to win on both the men and the female side, and there is a total of 8 wrestlers that have won the Rumble more than once.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the question for you guys is, can you list the wrestlers that have won the Rumble more than once?
No, this really sucks.
We're gonna start off
and I'm
with
not gonna post.
yeah, it's gonna suck, but next time then we play up until 10. After you hit 10 wins, you get a gift card of your choosing. Afterwards, we're gonna change the game where the loser will start. Okay, or maybe all right. So let me put it this way: you guys want to start that tomorrow, or okay, it's up to Jake. Jake, you won yesterday. Do you want to give Trey a try, or you want to try it tonight? And the loser, gets the start.
Since he's my best friend, and go ahead and start first, Trey. Go ahead and start first.
So the person who's won most, I'm going to say
So I'm only asking who's ever won more than once.
Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels is one of the answers. He's won 2. Jake?
Randy Orton.
That is also correct. Randy Orton has won 2. He's won 1 back in 2009, and he's also won 1 back in 2017. Shawn Michaels, by the way, was one of the few wrestlers who's won back-to-back. Tied at 1. Go back to you, Trey.
Stone Cold.
Stone Cold is correct. Stone Cold has won he actually went back-to-back in 78 and 79, and also won his last one in 01. He actually holds the record with the most Royal Rumble wins of all-time history. It's 2-1. Back to you, Jake.
The game, Triple H.
That is also correct. Triple H his last recent one was back in 2016, and he also won one back in 2002. For the win, Jake, get yourself on the board.
It's Trey.
Or Trey. I'm sorry. Yes, Trey.
This
2-2.
is the winning point. And
Yes.
I am picking the animal himself, Dave Bautista.
And that is correct. He won one back in 2014 and also one back in 2005. The 2005 one was actually with The Undertaker. I remember that one. No, not The Undertaker. Triple H. You faced Triple H.
And can we name the rest of them for fun?
Yeah, so there's a total of 1, 2, 3 more superstars. Can you name the other 3 superstars that are won? We'll go back. We'll give Jake a try. So Trey's already won this, but
Yep.
Jake, can you name it 3? There's 3 more.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about that right now, so to speak. There's been a lot of wrestlers. Oh, man.
I mean,
I'm going to say
pass if you
John Cena.
That is correct. John Cena's won one back in 13 and in 08. Trey?
The rated R Superstar Edge.
That is also correct. He won the last year's 2021 Royal Rumble, and then a decade previously, he won in 2010. That is one of the. He actually went in, and I think he went in trying to beat the Undertaker. I think. Was that the one? Was that year?
What?
Was
Back
that,
in 2010?
no, that was not the year. I'm sorry. No, not
So-
2000. No, that was when he beat. Didn't he face Shane?
Yeah, he threw John Cena out.
No,
Was
no,
that John
wait,
Cena?
no,
Yeah.
no. Okay, so in 2010 he won. Yeah, but I think he did. No, he eliminated somebody. It wasn't John Cena though. John Cena
I thought it
was.
Yeah, but who did he face at WrestleMania?
At that year, he faced Chris Jericho at WrestleMania 26.
That was when he also had to retire too, because he was a World Heavyweight Championship.
No, that was back in 2011.
No, that was 2010.
No, 2011. It was 2011 he retired.
Yes, he beat Alberto Del Rio to remain the World Heavyweight Championship
Yeah.
because he speared him.
All right, can you guys name the last one? The one that you guys are missing? So far, you guys have John Cena, Randy Orton, Edge, Batista, Triple H, Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels. Can you name the last one?
I'm trying
This
to think about
one was also so Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold went back to back. This last one went back to back also.
Roman Reigns.
Oh.
Well, all right, who has who?
Ooh. Who do I want to choose? Who has won it more time? Said, I don't want to be wrong, but I'm going to say The Rock.
No.
Nope. Nice.
You just heard my answer, right?
No. What was your answer?
Roman Reigns.
No.
That's what I thought.
One more guess, both of you guys, and then I'll just tell you. I mean, if people watching us know, leave a comment down below.
Yeah. It's not Vince McMahon. No, we only won once.
No. Vince
Back
McMahon
to
did
back.
win. He won back in he won back in '99.
Yeah, he did win in '99. Yeah, I remember that. But that was like the only chance. Oh man, there's been so
Put it
many.
this way, this person did win back in the same decade that Vince McMahon won.
Is it Ric Flair?
Nope.
No,
Last
no.
answer.
For me, in the same decade as Vince McMahon,
I'm actually very surprised you guys don't know this one.
I'm trying. That's the thing, though, is like if you mention the same decade as Vince McMahon, then
So,
yeah,
like, okay, in the '90s, and I'm talking about in the '90s.
the '90s, yeah, the '90s, yeah. I want to say, would Hulk Hogan be the last one?
Yes. Armchair Booking also got that correct. He won in '90 and '91.
And by the way, I'm not mad about losing the trade because, yeah, I mean he hasn't
We
won
gotta get some
once.
points on the board.
Yeah,
But,
so,
all right.
so
So, I mean, it wasn't a bad one. Did you know that one prior to the show? I gave you guys the hint.
I did not.
No,
I literally thought it was going to be the most eliminations.
most eliminations. See, I mean, hey, that could still be one, but now you know that question. Let me make an ask.
Hey, real quick, do you have our final score for the Dallas Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles? The final score, it is 51-26 Dallas Cowboys.
51-26 Dallas Cowboys. All right, let's go.
So does that mean Eagles are eliminated?
No, they're still in the playoffs because they had because of the record that they have. So yeah, it's not the Eagles have to worry about them. So go ahead.
Talking about we got to get to a break, but talking about the Royal Rumble match, there was one year where two wrestlers won.
Mm.
Can you name the two wrestlers?
No. It was Lex Luger and Bret Hart.
Yep. That was actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought it was John Cena and Batista because they eliminated each other.
That was not.
No, the match
was that
started.
Royal Rumble? Yeah, that match restarted.
Royal Rumble
yeah, because Vince got injured coming in the ring.
Yeah, he tore his Achilles while he was
Mhm.
trying to get in the
I
ring.
tell you, Steve is he knows his wrestling. He even called the year back in '94.
Yeah, that's really incredible. But yeah, it was Bret Hart and Lex Luger, which was crazy.
Are you guys impressed that I got all three of my guesses correct?
I mean, I
That was
knew you
very
knew your wrestling, so yeah, I knew you
when it
could
comes
do
down to
it.
wrestling, yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
okay, so here's the thing. Because we'll be back again tomorrow night. We play Jake Takes on Trey. I'm going to give you guys a category for this one. I'm not going to give you the question. The category, because we've been talking about MVPs of the NFL, it's going to be NFL MVPs. I'm not going to tell you the
ooh,
question on that one, but there's going to be a question about NFL MVP. So maybe want
and
to
I
do a little
start first tomorrow, right?
You will start first tomorrow.
Awesome.
This one's going to be a little bit more challenging, so I recommend you doing all your homework on the NFL MVP. I know Jake.
Well,
is
Trey's
gonna
gonna be too busy anyway, so
right, he's going to be honking over Brian Danielson's autograph.
at Cupcake.
But all right, listen, hey, we got to take a break. When we come back, you know what? Did Brock Lesnar? We got to talk about this. Was Brock Lesnar winning the WWE Championship? Was that good for business? Or, I mean, did it help things with wrestling? I mean, are we now looking at a proper WWE show? Maybe we'll stay
Let's,
tuned. We'll talk about that coming up
stay
next.
tuned.
Let's wait till after break. Yeah.
Clarity. 'Cause there's too much noise around us. Or maybe it's just me. There's treasure in the sea. Yeah, but I'm just too dry to reach it. So speak sincerely. Cause I'm still waiting, yeah, for you to come around and save me. Will you stay with me? I'm lost in America. Will you stay with me now? 'Cause I'm lost in America. Stay with me. I'm lost in America. Stay with me now. 'Cause I'm lost in America. So I crawl into the underground, find it hard to breathe. 'Cause there's too much dust in the air, and we can't reverse the wheel. 'Cause I found when I've searched around lately, the world seems to be the same. There's only room for the privileged and sacred, yeah. Oh, everyone's too crazy. Will you stay with me? I'm lost in America. Will you stay with me now? 'Cause I'm lost in America. Stay with me. I'm lost in America. Stay with me.
All right, we are back. You know, I'm kind of wondering from you guys. Brock Lesnar, you know, back on Saturday was going to be a great match, right? Between Brock and
No.
Roman.
Oh yeah.
Back on day one, it was going to be a great match. I think one of the reasons why the WWE was sold out during their premium live event was because Brock Lesnar was going to make an appearance. Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, because the last time we saw them compete was at Crown Jewel. We wanted to see them compete in the new version of Brock Lesnar in the in the U.S. But obviously things change, and now we look into the moving forward, and he wins the championship. Roman Reigns gets COVID. Brock is put into the Fatal 5-Way, which I really didn't see anything going, and I didn't know what the direction was going for Raw up until then. But when he won the WWE Championship, a new life has kind of resparked Raw, and it's really dreading sometimes to watch Monday Night Raw. Being 3 hours of some content, it's very difficult to watch every little minute of Raw. And now you hear okay, Brock Lesnar won. Oh my goodness, I have to tune in to figure out what's going on and who's going to. I mean, even though you could probably say it was predictable that Bobby Lashley was going to win or the number one contender match. And we'll have this discussion tomorrow about Big E because it looks like they're setting him off to the side. But was Brock Lesnar winning the WWE Championship good for business? Now, I asked that question on over the break, and Armchair Booking was really quick to respond back. He said, short term, yes, long term, no. But hey, it's been a while since you've gotten people to talk about WWE, right?
Yeah.
It's been quite some time since we've actually talked about Monday Night Raw and WWE and now the storylines in such a great, such an impactful, venue. And so
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to hear your thoughts on what do you guys think of Brock Lesnar now on the Raw roster? Now you think about it. Brock Lesnar on Raw, Roman Reigns on SmackDown. You got your two top dogs. Brock Lesnar's going over to SmackDown, trying to still challenge Roman Reigns because he got unfinished business with them. I don't know if you guys saw SmackDown, but Paul Heyman is not done with his storyline either. He's back on Team Brock, but still is defending Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is a fun time, and WWE is started. I mean, blessing in disguise, I would say, starting, getting off into the right start. So, who wants to start this off?
I'll let Trey go first because I definitely have something I want to say.
So, I think Brock winning the championship was good for business because, when Big E was champion, his title reign was not very good, and having a superstar like Brock that has star power coming in Raw, that makes it interesting. What's Brock doing here on Raw with the championship? And I'm agree with Armchair Booking that short term, yes, it was good for business because it lifts up the ratings a little bit, and then and maybe we could get back to the storyline with Roman. And having that match with Bobby Lashley will be very good too.
Yeah. Jake?
Me personally, I thought it was really good because it helped out both brands in a sort of way because it gives Lashley a chance to face Brock at the Royal Rumble, and plus somehow, some way yesterday we continued this storyline with Paul Heyman, but yet on the other side of things, while Brock is going to be busy with Bobby, in their match for the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble, and I hope you guys don't mind me talking about this. But I am very excited because we was all wondering what's going to happen with Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble. But yet, in the final segment of SmackDown, Justin, Trey, I hope it's okay for me to talk about it. But yet, we was all wondering.
Hey, listen, if it wasn't okay, I mean, I'd just take you off. But
either way,
anyways. I mean, we're going to have to talk about it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
So Roman Reigns was sitting down, and then he hears a knock on the door. He says, "Come in." And then before the camera zoomed out, we see a confused but a more serious look on Roman Reigns' face. And here comes Seth freaking Rollins. And that's who he's going to face at the Royal Rumble. Reigns and Rollins. I can't tell you the last time these two have even had a match together, let alone a one-on-one match.
Has it been confirmed? That
Yeah,
Seth Rollins and
it's
Roman
confirmed.
Reigns will face each other? Okay, here's my other question, too. Because I mean, you said when was the last time? Well, wasn't Seth Rollins looking for the title picture back when Edge was trying to get his rematch
Yeah,
at
yeah.
the against
Whenever
Roman
they was on
Reigns, and then
SmackDown.
Seth Rollins got involved? Yeah.
Yeah, so like that was before Rollins and Edge got drafted, and it was supposed to be at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, but Edge took that spot. So Rollins finally gets a chance to have that one-on-one shot against Reigns at the Royal Rumble. To me, I'm excited
I mean,
because go ahead,
do you really blame
Justin.
Ed? Do you really blame Edge for trying to take his? I mean, you got to remember he won the Royal Rumble last year, got thrown in, and was forced to have Daniel Bryan in it. Which I mean, it wasn't a bad match, but you never really clearly got your one-on-one match. So when he went and tried to, afterwards when he went back to try to get his one-on-one match like he deserved, then Seth Rollins gets involved and ends up costing him that match, and then obviously that breaks down their feud that they brought down. Listen, here's the way I see it. I think this is really good for business. You think of it, I think it's, and I just couldn't type this, but it's a blessing in disguise. That's the way I think of this. Because when you look at everything that's going on right now in 2021 with the WWE, it wasn't the greatest year that we could claim. I think it was very difficult to watch a lot of the product, to be honest, right? And you just didn't know the direction. There's very few storylines to remember in 2021. And obviously, listen, Brock and Roman is a great feud, and I love how they're not letting up on it. They're still telling it, but they're taking that alternate turn. But now it's like I said, they're saying how important it was, how lackluster Raw has been over the last few months. I mean, just think about this. Liv Morgan won a title opportunity back at the first week of the brand split that officially made official, right? It took her like a month
to finally get a shot,
probably longer, to finally get a title shot, which then people forgot about, and then now they're trying to build Liv Morgan, which is a waste of time because they should have built her from the day one, and then you're trying to build. I don't know what you're trying to do with Becky Lynch. And so at least and then you think about like, okay, Big E, he's not getting that push, and we'll get more about into that tomorrow, but he wasn't getting the push, or at least he wasn't getting the fans behind him, which kind of sucked because, he really deserved to be there, be champion. And therefore that probably led to, okay, well now Brock, let's give the Brock, title to Brock. Now you look to Royal Rumble, and we don't know what's going to happen. Can we see we're going to see Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar, but we know that the Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns situation is not done. So it's going to leave, open conversations to what is going to happen for Mania.
I do want to.
Here's the thing. This is the right. I want to just claim this one. It's the right direction to kick off the new year, especially leading into 2 nights of WrestleMania that Vince has already came out and demanded, hey, we need to sell out both nights, which is, by the way, at AT&T Stadium, that's 100,000 people both nights. That's a lot to sell out for. And I think they're on the right direction to sell out both nights if they keep in the way that they're going. But hey, listen, it's so easy. WWE has that tendency to start off great and then what's going on.
Where it's like bumpy roads. But I will say this though, and I want to get my thoughts on just already 2 big matches. I mean, for the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, Rollins and Reigns.
4 big matches. 4 big matches. You got the men and women's. You don't forget. We'll go back into this tomorrow. The women's and all the women that's listed. You got the men's Royal Rumble, and then you got the 2 title matches.
And plus, you also got the mixed tag match, but we'll get to that probably tomorrow. But see, the thing is, though, is that you want to be able to start the new year off in a right path. You want to be able to start the road to WrestleMania in the right path, and to have both champions, Reigns and Lesnar, to face probably, competitors that we've been waiting to see for quite some time in big matches. This is what I'm waiting for because, I mean, obviously, Trey's excited about Bobby and Brock. To me, I'm also excited about Reigns and Rollins for a lot of reasons because in any matches that they have, they always end up having the best chemistry. So I can honestly say, hands down, at the Rumble, Reigns and Rollins will end up being match of the night, and I cannot wait.
And don't get me wrong, I am excited, very excited for the Brock and Bobby. But I'm also excited to see what Roman does to Seth, or Seth does to Roman. But
So,
I
I'm
mean, I
gonna
think it's
point
only
something out.
fair. Go ahead.
So I don't know if you guys paid very, very close attention to SmackDown. I did not pay attention to it. So I watched a short little clip earlier today that when Roman was getting, eventually get confronted by Seth, before Seth came in, he was knocking on the door the Shield's theme song.
what?
Yeah.
Wow.
When he was knocking the Shield's theme song.
But yet, I think as far as the storyline, not only with Reigns and Rollins, I mean, obviously the history of the Shield will probably get involved with this, and that's fine by me. Whether if it's long term booking or however WWE plans on doing this,
Well,
either way,
let me
though.
just cut you off right there because you talk about the Shield theme song, and this is a whole nother. I don't want to say conspiracy, but this is another question we're going to bring up next segment just to touch water with. We're just going to scratch the surface at this, but obviously WWE is using other promotional athletes for their Royal Rumble. Let me ask you this: if that's the direction that they're going, you talk about the Shield return, the Shield. Is there a slight? I know that there's been some controversy between who and Vince, but could we? Is there a possibility, a slight possibility,
Ooh,
you
I
could see
just got cold
who gets
chills, bro.
involved? I know this is all
See,
hypothetical,
Ooh.
and
but the
we'll
thing
discuss this
is,
here in a few more minutes. But I mean, that's
I
something to think
I
about.
See, I told Trey about this, but once when I read the story, it was all about documentary. It wasn't anything about talent exchange. Unfortunately, it was all about either a documentary for one of the current who wrestlers. But as far as I see it, with what WWE is trying to do, is I'm okay with it because me and Trey, we talked, we probably spent maybe
Let's
what?
finish. Let's
Go ahead,
finish the Royal
go ahead.
Rumble picture.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
want to finish the Royal Rumble picture because that's how we're going to end the show
Yeah,
tonight
yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
with that
yeah,
conversation.
yeah. But as far as the Royal Rumble, though, I mean, you want to start off the road to WrestleMania on a high note, and if this is what WWE's trying to do, I'm all in for the ride as far as the Royal Rumble is concerned. The
I mean, I
29th,
guess the other thing is too. You got to think about it. I really don't think Brock Lesnar is meant to have this title for a long time. I think this is only to temporarily tell a story that leads back to Roman Reigns. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah,
or Paul Heyman. So I think it's a temper. Obviously, you look at SmackDown, and obviously, you had Brock that was on SmackDown, moves over to Raw. You got to give a Raw back to SmackDown in this time period. I mean, there's really no one else in line for that title because unless it was Brock, because Drew McIntyre is currently dealing with his neck injury. I just saw a photo on social media the other day about him being put in a cast. He's putting, he was a neck brace and full body, protective gear.
yeah.
So who else on SmackDown really has that foot forward of, okay, I could challenge Roman Reigns and go toe to toe to him. Since that's
Nobody.
gone, you really got to rely on Brock Lesnar. And in the meantime, you got to take, because he's on Raw, you got to take someone out from maybe.
See,
But here's the thing, because what is the storyline for Mania for the Raw side? I mean, I know we could get into this more deeper, but just paint you a picture. I mean, I'm even thinking Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens. I mean, can you see Kevin Owens interfere and cost Seth Rollins a championship? Because it looks like they're kind of doing more feud with each other. You know
I
what I'm saying?
mean,
Like
I mean,
there's just
I
so
mean,
many.
if you think about this though, I mean, when I seen Rollins and Owens teamed up together, it reminds me of Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens teamed up together. If you guys remember, I
Right.
mean, they weren't like they weren't really best friends, but yet they was like working with each other. They were like working like a tag team of some sort. So yeah, I
But
mean, that could be the case.
the only
That could be the
difference
case.
is that that Seth Rollins will not trust. He came out and said, "Hey, I will not trust Kevin Owens on a story side because obviously the shenanigans, right? Okay,
Yeah.
Trey's word. That Kevin Owens pulls. I guess the ending point here is that week one on Raw, because you had a great Dynamite, you had a great Rampage, you had a great Battle of the Belts. Impact's going off strong. You just had Wrestle Kingdom. WWE is actually in the conversations with all the other promotions, which is a fun, exciting things to think of leading to the road of WrestleMania. And it's unfortunate because you do have to tie right now with the road of WrestleMania. And I know people don't, it's like, oh, well, that's just the excuse, right? That's why WWE is popping a little bit just in this week's worth of action. But yet again, I mean, we just saw ending a black and yellow era in NXT officially come to an end this past Tuesday night. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, all I think I can say is that it gets us talking, which is nice because for the first time since starting this podcast with you guys, we finally have really good content, and it's taken us in all different directions.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
And we're going to be able to have to follow along, keep you guys posted, keep everyone in tune. We'll talk more about it tomorrow. We got to take our final break of the program. But on that matter, we want to come back in, finish off the show, scratch the water a little bit. WWE, Jake, you say it's a documentary. Obviously, people think that we're, is this an opportunity for WWE maybe to open up the door to other possibility for success? Because I'll explain more left. Let's take a break. We'll come back to it.
Are you talking about the Forbidden Door?
The Forbidden Door. Breaking down the fourth wall. The imaginary wall. That comes next. J and Trey Podcast.
Can't wait.
Let's go.
can't let them take my soul.
Alrighty, everyone. I just want to welcome back everyone to the J Trey Podcast. We got 15 minutes before our program for tonight. We'll be back again tomorrow from 10 p.m. to midnight. getting a chance to talk to you guys about Brian Danielson's experience, meeting him in person at Cavalcade Customs. If you guys are in the northern Cincinnati or Kentucky area, Cavalcade Customs is a car convention tomorrow from at 1 p.m. I think was where Daniel Bryan's doing a meet and greet with everybody. Get their early tickets are still available at the door. I think $20 then. It's like $10 an hour. Also want to give a quick shout out once again to Armchair Booking. Head on over to Armchair Booking on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, pretty much any audio streaming service to check out their interview with Noah Gabriel, Sinclair, Octavius Bentley. I still got to find out who won that match. Was it for the Tri-State Championship? So that's that. And I'm going to tell you guys here personally, next week is a dedicated week that I have a dedication for probably. Oh, here's what I'll say. I'll give you down to break the story. 9 years ago, I'm next week. This coming up week, the second week of the year, I will be honoring probably my actual best friend who passed away 9 years. So I'm going to be celebrating his life, his stories, everything in that case. Very emotional week that I will exclaim that I will dedicate next week to. So if you guys are tuning in, stay tuned for that. That's the reason why I actually have this jersey up. So yeah, Armchair Booking just said Sinclair won. So Sinclair Octavius Bentley had just retained the title, the Tri-State Championship title. Armchair, was it a 5-star match or 4.5?
Hey, I have a question for Armchair Booking. Did Hard to Kill finally end tonight? Did the pay-per-view end?
I'm sure. I sure hope so.
Yeah, I'm gonna say because the main event was Mickie James and Deonna Purrazzo. I just wanted to see who won the match.
All right. So I think that's the question that we should be talking about. I know that there's different sides to story, but let's finish off this with the bang. And I guess okay. So we saw back on Friday a lot of talent, especially on the women's Royal Rumble match being announced. Got women like the Bella Twins, like Michelle McCool, Lita, and then you got women like Mickie James. Now I know that's just really one name out of the hat that you could pull, and it could possibly be her due diligence given towards that, and I don't want to put anything more into that. And he was so Armchair Booking was just in Mount Orab all night, so you didn't get a chance to see the
okay. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you.
But anyways, so I don't want to jump the gun too far, but now it kind of does open up. WWE has always done a great job as changing with the era. When WWF to WWE, when they had the WCW war, the Monday Night Wars, they kind of into the Attitude Era. Then we saw, the PG era. And I guess, obviously, the ratings haven't been the greatest, but is it time for WWE to change, update themselves with the new era in wrestling? And as we've seen in AEW and Impact and Ring of Honor and New Japan, it's kind of open contract where, okay, if I'm not using you on my brand, go out and, FTR goes down to AAA and wrestles, the Lucha Bros and all that stuff down there for their content, which basically is the question, will we see the WWE break down that forbidden wall in 2022?
Sorry.
Apparently they already have.
Well,
according to one of the Impact people.
It's one thing to have one or two athletes come in for a single, contract. Hey, I need a Royal Rumble. I mean, the Royal Rumble is I need bodies, right? They obviously WWE doesn't have enough bodies to fill in a 30-woman Royal Rumble. But the question is that can we see this go a step further?
I mean, like Trey said, I mean, it was talked about on the Hard Kill pay-per-view between both Deonna Purrazzo and Mickey James. So obviously, there's something going on between Impact and the WWE. And you know what? I mean, like me and Trey, we talk about this all the time. And yeah, this might as well be a thing in here, but never say never. Because people say we'll never see Impact talent in WWE show. That could change a lot because WWE can be able to bring up some of the women, to potentially bring up possibly the Impact World Champion Moose if he retains the championship tonight. So there's a lot of things that I'm really looking forward to. So I say yes, yes. I mean, if WWE brought in European companies such as ICW and Progress, then yet let's have some sort of Impact Wrestling to get involved. Let's see some talent.
I mean, I mean, it's not will they do it? I guess I got to re-ask that question. Is that do you think they have to do it? Because obviously they got rid of a handful of athletes this last year, especially this last 2 years, and. I mean, the question, I mean, I think there's still a question. Hey, are you going to keep the brand split? Are you going to maybe at one point, we could get a unified championship? I know that's been in the talks. Way too early to talk about that, but as WWE heads into the new year, this is the new dynamic of pro wrestling is okay, open contract where, yeah, you are dedicated to our promotion, but we can loan you off to a different promotion for a short time if we're not using you. And that way we're utilizing everybody. And I mean, like I said, you think about this, Mickey James, which is just one of the big key names that we're seeing, right? Because, I mean, otherwise, all those other athletes, Kelly, they're all kind of coming back, right, from, being out of action. I don't see any of them else performing. But Mickey James, she kind of got, I guess I would say screwed by the WWE in the sense she was supposed to come back to WWE and end her career here and have a couple of great matches. She didn't. She got released. She went to Impact and she said this. I remember the exact Busted Open podcast. I think she talked about this. This was she wanted to go out with the bang, and this was and she couldn't do this with WWE. WWE didn't give her that opportunity. That's why she was in Impact Wrestling. Maybe WWE is feeling remorse, and so they're going to bring her back, right, just for that moment.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, is that it's not just talent related. You also got to be thinking about the Impact officials. I mean, Scott D'Amore. I mean, Trey and I, we talked about this a lot, that he worked with other promotions. I mean, but yet to finally get just have WWE involved, that's insane. He goes from working with.
I want to pull this up really fast. I don't mean to interrupt you, but Steve from Armchair Booking really hit this nail in the coffin. WWE might be trying to start a business relationship similar to what they had with Smoky Mountain and Memphis CWA in the 90s. I mean, great. I think that's actually a perfect way. I mean, I wouldn't go as far as saying, hey, WWE is going to have a relationship with AEW. I would like eventually maybe that would be a good idea, but Impact, once Ring of Honor returns, New Japan, I mean AAA.
Pretty much in this sort of sense, though, is that Impact Wrestling is doing some stuff with Ring of Honor. So, I mean, we could potentially see some Ring of Honor individuals or even some women's to get involved with the Royal Rumble. And I'm okay with this because they just had the Ring of Honor world title defended tonight. So I wouldn't mind seeing either Jonathan Gresham or Roxy at the Royal Rumble. I mean, the thing is, though, is that we don't know what to expect come Royal Rumble. But what I will say this, though, is that the deal with WWE and Impact Wrestling, I'm all in for it because Impact Wrestling has a lot of great talent.
And I want to say something. So Moose was asked about the Royal Rumble, and his response was, "You never know who will show up."
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people say that also, and then last minute things. But I guess that's how the Rumble works because you have. I've heard stories. Oh yeah, I've been asked. I mean, even Bully Ray's came out. Oh yeah, I've been asked to be ready for the Rumble, and then he gets pulled last second because they got somebody else. But it's just the thing is to think about the possibility. I know it's the Rumble time, and I guess that's where we could kind of maybe be biting off more we could chew because WWE has always found a way to entertain us during the Rumble. Bring back athletes that we don't normally see, or bring in athletes that we don't normally see. So during the Rumble time, we always see this. But the difference is that now everything's going through social media out there, right? I mean, everyone's commenting and has a say. So is this part of that whole, okay, bring in a handful of guys, or is this going to continue beyond, the Rumble? Is this going to continue beyond Mania? But I think we can all agree and feel like if the WWE wants to make it through 2022, we see all these other promotions doing it. I think the WWE is going to have, if they want to continue stay in business, they're going to have to start doing the same thing. I mean, you're not going to go see CM Punk or Bryan Danielson on WWE, but it's going to open up a lot of great opportunities. How many minor non-promotional guys like OVW and Impact that wants to have matches with guys like Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, I mean, Kevin Owens, who just signed that contract extension, AJ Styles. I mean, there's still so many opportunities. I think it's a great opportunity, but will WWE follow through with that?
And I will say this, though, is that you also got to think about those who are still with the company. I mean, the person that has been with the company outside of Scott D'Amore the longest is Madison Rayne, and yet she's never really had an opportunity such as this. So yet to see her in the Rumble, that would be a huge thing for her career. I mean, she's already had a historic women's career at Impact, but to be able to see her at the Royal Rumble, I am definitely okay with this. I want to see Madison Rayne at the Royal Rumble.
I do. I mean, I want to see this happen. I mean, you think about how much does this do for Moose's career if he could make at least an appearance at the Rumble, maybe having a match later down the road or having a few with some of these guys. And like I said, you're looking to sell out 2 nights of WrestleMania. You don't have enough roster talent there to fill in unless you're bringing up Braun Breaker and you're going to include NXT. You don't have enough roster talent there. I'm sorry to tell you that. So it would be nice to maybe see some of these other promotions highlight some of their athletes and give them a WrestleMania moment. Bring back WrestleMania used to be the implement of the highest point. Like if you made an event in WrestleMania, you got a chance to be on WrestleMania, you could die the next day. You'll be happy. You know what I'm saying? Like that would just open it up for that opportunity. Trey.
And if WWE wants to sell out WrestleMania, they need to continue this with Impact.
Well, they need to continue this with other promotion, but they need to continue this with the actual product that they're putting out there. Like you said, 3 hours a show for the first time in, I don't know, like 3 months. For the first time in 3 months, I actually wanted to watch Monday Night Raw to find out what happened. And then you think about this, how much excitement. We're about to go to a Raw in a couple weeks, Trey. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I was talking to Jake about this before the show. Just imagine if the Impact Tag Team Champions faced the Raw Tag Team Champions versus the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. How huge would that be for WrestleMania?
And if that's the case, then I wouldn't mind them. You talk about unifying the championships, right? Then unify that up, combine the roster again. That's fine by me. I wouldn't have no problem with that.
If they're, we talked about a match. We always have a dream match. And if we're talking about like current champions, and in case you guys don't know who Trey Miguel is, I would love to see the X Division champion Trey Miguel go up against Damian Priest, going up against Shinsuke Nakamura. That could be an incredible one. There's always the possibilities of endless dream matches with the current champions from Raw, SmackDown, and of course, Impact Wrestling. So I mean, there's a lot of great chances.
You think of guys like Shinsuke and Finn Balor that has not really gotten their proper opportunity and the proper career that they wanted in WWE. This reopens them up. They can have these matches like everyone wants to see them have.
Right.
Yeah. And you also got to think about this, though. Shinsuke did wrestle at Impact at one point, so I wouldn't mind to get a chance to see him taking on any of the current guys. To me, Shinsuke taking on
Okada coming to WWE for Okada versus Shinsuke.
Chaos,
just think of the endless possibilities. This is the best business move Vince McMahon could ever do at this time, if that's the case.
Yeah.
Listen, man. All right, listen. We've had fun 2 hours. We got to get going. All right, we've had great time here. We'll be back again tomorrow. Hey, I want to talk about Big E tomorrow. Okay, we'll talk about some NFL 18. What has they downgraded Big E? What's next for him? Obviously, they listen. He lost twice. He got pinned by Brock Lesnar back on day one, and they kind of sent him off to the side. I also want to talk more about the future, the Royal Rumble. Maybe go over some of the athletes. You know, I feel like that some of that is a little bit of a okay. You have them in there just for show, because I mean, you know, Michelle McCoy not winning the Rumble. You know that,
right?
I mean, you know, Lita is not main eventing. I mean, I guess any given Sunday for NFL, never say never in 2022. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that like, share, subscribe button. Until next time, you guys. On behalf of Trey, Jake, and I, we will see you guys tomorrow night to finish out our week. Stay tuned, and you guys have yourself a wonderful night.
Go Bengals.